Jai Gurudev, and thank you for joining us today. Today we have with us an art of living expert and an officer of the Vedic Dharma Sansthan. So we are today going to discuss about Lord Venkateshwara Swami. And so there is a very famous belief that Lord Venkateshwara himself sometimes stands in the darshan queue at Tirumala. What is the deeper meaning of this story? Yes, Jai Gurudev. This belief is profound. It shows that in the temple of Tirumala, there is no hierarchy. Everyone is equal in the queue, whether king or commoner. The idea that Venkateshwara Swami himself joins the queue highlights the Lord's humility. He demonstrates that devotion is a two-way relationship. Devotees come longing to see him, and he too longs to experience their love. Sometimes mysterious figures appearing in the queue and disappearing reinforces legend. Spiritually, it teaches us that God is not distant but accessible and eager to be with his devotees. Now, how can this divine concept of the Lord standing in the queue be related to the darshan with the Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankar Ji in the Art of Living? That's beautifully asked. In the Art of Living during satsangs or big gatherings, devotees wait in lines for darshan of Gurudev. Many feel just like in Tirumala that it is not only we who are waiting to see Gurudev, but Gurudev himself is waiting to see us. His gaze, his smile, his blessings, these are his ways of receiving darshan of each devotee's soul. Just as Venkateshwara Swami comes down to meet the bhakts, Gurudev, though in human form, carries the same humility, treating every seeker equally, whether they are from villages or global institutions. Now, devotees often say that darshan in Tirumala is an exchange, not one sided. Can you explain? Yes, absolutely. In our tradition, darshan means both to see and to be seen. When devotees behold the deity, they feel uplifted simultaneously. The Lord, through the idol, looks into the heart of the devotee. This is why darshan is transformative. The belief that Venkateshwara himself joins the queue shows that he too wishes to witness the bhakti, purity, and surrender in his devotees' eyes. It's an exchange of divine love. The same concept extends to saints and enlightened masters. They too see the inner being of each seeker in darshan moments. Now, can you share a personal experience or story about darshan lines with Gurudev and how they resemble Tirumala's tradition? Yes, Jayagurudev, many devotees have felt this parallel during the World Culture Festival in Delhi or large satsangs at Bangalore Ashram. Lakhs of people stood in line for darshans, Gurudev's darshan. Once a devotee said, I thought I was waiting to see Gurudev, but when my turn came, I felt that he had been waiting only for me. That is the magic. His eyes meet yours as if no one else exists. That is, and this is identical to Tirumala's teaching. Gurudev often says darshan is mutual. I also get darshan of you. It is the same love exchange as with Lord Venkateshwara. Now, what lesson can modern devotees take from the fact that even the Lord stands in line? The lesson is humility and equality. In today's world, people crave privilege, VIP lines, special treatment. But the Tirumala story reminds us that in devotion, there is no VIP. Everyone is equal before the divine. If the Lord Himself is willing to stand patiently in line, then who are we to demand preference? It is a call to surrender arrogance and cultivate patience. Standing in the queue becomes part of the pilgrimage. Every step, every chant, in line is also seva. This changes our mindset from entitlement to gratitude. Now, how does waiting in the darshan line at the ashram connect to sadhana and inner growth? Yes, the wait itself is transformative. The ashram darshan lines, people chant, sing bhajans, or meditate. This builds patience, surrender, and a sense of belonging. Just like standing in line at Tirumala is a form of tapasya, standing in line for Gurudev's darshan is also an inward journey. The anticipation cleanses the mind. When you finally meet Gurudev, your heart is completely open. The way teaches us that spiritual growth requires patience and humility. Gurudev mirrors this back to us. His presence shows that he too values every moment of this divine connection with the seeker. Now, how do scriptures support the idea that darshan is a two-way process? The Upanishads say drashta drashtavyam bhavati. The seer becomes the seen. Darshan is not only our gaze, but the divine's gaze upon us. In temples like Tirumala, this is tangible. The Lord's eyes are painted in such a way that wherever you stand, you feel He is looking at you. This architectural detail is symbolic of the spiritual truth. The Lord is always watching lovingly. When Venkateshwara himself stands in line, it emphasizes that he longs to meet his devotees as much as they long to meet him. Now, how does this principle appear in Art of Living programs? In every Art of Living course, whether Sudarshan Kriya, Sahat Samadhi meditation, or a happiness program, there is an element of darshan. Gurudev explains that meditation is a way of looking inward, but simultaneously the divine consciousness looks into you. In the advanced course, Participants often feel Gurudev's presence so strongly that they say, I felt he was meditating with me, just like in Tirumala, where the Lord comes to join the queue. In Art of Living programs, Gurudev silently joins every seeker's inner journey. This makes the process personal, intimate, and full of grace. Now, waiting in queues is part of Tirumala's discipline. How does this patience apply to modern seekers? Indeed, Jagar, the patience is central at Tirumala. The queue can be hours long, yet devotees chant Govinda, Govinda joyfully. The Lord standing with them is a reminder that waiting is not empty, it is sacred time. For modern seekers, this shows that spiritual growth is not instant. Discipline, time, and humility are essential. Just like the queue at Tirumala transforms impatience into devotion, life's challenges and waiting periods also ripen our consciousness. Standing in line becomes meditation in motion. It teaches us to transform ordinary waiting into extraordinary spiritual practice. Now, can standing in darshan lines in Art of Living be compared to Sudarshan Kriya practice? Yes, Jagurudev, very much so. In Sudarshan Kriya, we breathe rhythmically, waiting for the mind to settle. In Darshan lines, we wait for the moment when our eyes meet. Gurudev says both experiences bring a wave of silence and joy. Devotees say that after long Kriya, when they see Gurudev, it feels like the culmination of the whole practice. The waiting and breathing both dissolve ego and create receptivity. This is why Art of Living courses prepare seekers for darshan. The mind becomes quiet, the heart expands, and then the Guru's glance awakens something deep inside. Now, what role does bhakti play in both Tirumala cues and Art of Living lines? Jagadevi's bhakti is the soul of both at Tirumala bhajans and chanting in the queue. Keep the devotion alive. The story that Lord Himself stands in the line elevates the bhakti even more. Imagine chanting next to the Lord. Similarly, in Art of Living gatherings, people sing satsangs in line before darshan. This creates a shared energy of love and surrender in both places. The atmosphere itself becomes alive. Bhakti turns the physical weight into a spiritual celebration. Without bhakti, the weight feels heavy. With bhakti, even hours in line feel like moments. Now, can you connect the full moon meditation with this darshan line principle? Yes, in full moon meditations guided by Gurudev, people across the globe still sit simultaneously. Many feel Gurudev is with them personally, even though they may be thousands of miles away. This is exactly like the Tirumala legend. The Lord joins the devotee wherever they are. The full moon becomes the cue that unites all seekers worldwide. In that silence, you realize darshan is not just about physical nearness but inner connection. Just as Venkateshwara Swami is present in the line, Gurudev is present in the meditation, gazing into each seeker's soul with compassion. Now, does the Tirumala story also teach us something about seva? Absolutely, seva is the spirit behind Tirumala. Lakhs of volunteers, be it Annaprasadam distribution or managing queues, see it as service to the Lord. When devotees believe that Venkateshwara Swami himself may stand in line, they serve every person with reverence, for anyone could be him. This transforms duty into devotion. The lesson is clear: serve all as if you are serving God. Modern seekers can apply this in life and organizations, whether in temples or daily work. Each act becomes sacred when done with humility and the awareness that the divine is present. Now, how does this principle appear in Art of Living Seva projects? Yes, Jayagurudev, in Art of Living Seva, whether distributing ration kits, teaching children in rural schools, or trauma relief after disasters, volunteers say, we are serving Gurudev in each person. This reflects Tirumala's idea that the Lord could be standing in the queue in front of you. Gurudev has often said, see God in every face, just like devotees at Tirumala don't know which stranger could be the Lord Himself. Art of Living Sevaks treat every beneficiary with equal dignity. This approach makes seva not charity but worship, and the line between serving man and serving God disappears. Now, how does the discipline of waiting in queues mirror the discipline of sadhana? Sadhana requires shraddha or faith, and saburi or patience, and samarpan or surrender. In Tirumala queues, we see these qualities tested: long hours, physical strain, and the unknown moment of darshan. Similarly, in spiritual practice, progress is not immediate, it requires consistency. The belief that the Lord Himself stands in line teaches us that we are not alone in this effort. The divine is walking with us step by step. This gives seekers strength to continue. Whether chanting mantras or practicing pranayamas, the patience of waiting ripens only joy when darshan or inner awakening finally comes. Now, how does the advanced meditation program reflect this idea? Yes, the Jayagurudev, the advanced program is like standing in the darshan queue inwardly. For 4 days, participants maintain silence, deepen meditation, and wait patiently for that glimpse of the self. At first, the mind resists, But as silence deepens, seekers feel the Guru's presence walking with them. Many say, I felt Gurudev was meditating inside me. This is identical to Tirumala's belief that the Lord Himself is in the line. The advanced course shows us that darshan is not just external, it is also the profound moment when consciousness itself bows down to the inner Guru. Now, devotees sometimes say that Lord disappears after darshan. How can we understand this? This is symbolic. The divine itself reveals Himself only to deepen our devotion, not to bind us to form, just as mysterious figures vanish after being seen in the Tirumala queue, reminding us that God is beyond appearances. Darshan is about inner transformation, not outer possession. The disappearance means I am everywhere, not only here. It teaches non attachment and universality. Similarly, after a Guru's darshan, we may not always have his physical presence, but the inner connection continues. True darshan is eternal. It lives in the heart, not just in the moment of sight. Now, how does Sahat Samadhi meditation mirror this lesson? Sahat Samadhi teaches us to go beyond form and words, just like the Lord may vanish after darshan in Tirumala to remind us He is infinite. In Sahat Samadhi meditation, the mantra dissolves into silence. Initially, the seeker clings to the mantra like a queue line, but suddenly it disappears, leaving only vastness. This is the real darshan. The self recognizing itself, Gurudev explains that the mantra is like the queue. It leads you step by step to the sanctum of your own being. Once inside, the mantra vanishes and pure presence remains. Now, how do such stories inspire faith in modern devotees who are skeptical? There were stories like Venkateshwara standing in the queue are not just folklore, they are reminders that the divine is participative, not distant. For modern minds, this means God is not sitting in the heavens judging us, but walking alongside us in daily struggles. Even skeptics find comfort in this idea that the sacred is accessible and humble, whether or not one literally believes in the Lord's physical presence in mind. The message of equality, humility, and mutual love touches everyone. It dissolves the separation between human and divine, making faith practical and compassionate. Now, finally, what is the essence of this Tirumala Art of Living Darshan connection? The essence is simple. Darshan is mutual. At Tirumala, the Lord Himself is believed to wait in line to see His devotees. In Art of Living, Gurudev often says, when you come for darshan, I also get darshan of you. This transforms darshan from a one sided act into a divine meeting of souls. Courses like Sudarshan Kriya, advanced meditation, Sahat Samadhi, and Seva projects all prepare seekers for this moment. When the heart opens, humility blossoms, and you realize that the divine is not only to be seen, but is also eagerly seeing you, Jai Gurudev.